When people talk about SB19's global breakthrough, the conversation almost always circles back to one defining moment. One song. One performance that refused to stay contained within borders, algorithms, or expectations. That moment was Gento. At first, Gento didn't arrive with loud predictions or dramatic headlines. It wasn't introduced as a global takeover. It was released as a powerful continuation of SB19's journey, confident, intense, and unapologetically bold. The beat hit hard. The choreography was sharp and disciplined. The performance carried authority. Fans recognized it immediately as something special. But what happened next went far beyond fan expectations. Because Gento didn't just trend. It traveled. When a song escapes its own community. In the early days, Gento moved exactly the way most SB19 releases did. Fans streamed it heavily. Dance covers flooded social platforms. Reaction videos popped up across YouTube and TikTok. Everything felt familiar until it didn't. Slowly, something shifted. The choreography began appearing on timelines that had nothing to do with P-pop. Casual viewers, people who had never interacted with SB19 content, started pausing mid-scroll. Some replayed clips multiple times, confused but intrigued. You could almost hear the question forming in their minds. Who are these performers? That curiosity mattered. Because once people stop scrolling, once they start watching closely, the door opens. And Gento forced that door wide open. This wasn't playful choreography designed for easy imitation. It wasn't casual movement meant for quick trends. Gento demanded attention. It commanded space. The performance didn't ask viewers to like it. It challenged them to keep watching. That challenge is what turned a comeback into a cultural moment. The difference between popularity and impact. Plenty of songs go viral. Plenty of dances trend for a few days before disappearing into the endless scroll of social media history. But Gento felt different. The reaction wasn't just excitement, it was surprise. People weren't saying, "This is fun." They were saying, "This is intense. This is disciplined. This doesn't look easy." And that difference is critical. Because when a performance sparks surprise rather than casual enjoyment, it signals something deeper. It means expectations are being challenged. Perceptions are being rewritten in real time. And no group felt that shift more clearly than celebrities themselves. The reactions that couldn't be scripted. One of the most fascinating parts of the Gento phenomenon was how celebrities reacted, not loudly, not dramatically, but honestly. You could hear it in their voices during interviews. See it in their expressions during reaction clips. Notice it in the pauses before they spoke. That pause mattered. Because it wasn't the pause of politeness. It was the pause of realization. Some celebrities openly praised the precision of the choreography, pointing out how every movement landed with intention. Others focused on the intensity, how SB19 maintained full control and energy from beginning to end without breaking character. And then there were those who admitted something even more revealing. They didn't expect it. They didn't expect a Filipino group to perform at that level of sharpness, confidence, and command. That admission wasn't disrespectful. It was honest. And honesty is what makes recognition meaningful. Because when professionals are surprised, it means a boundary has been crossed. Why quiet acknowledgement matters more than loud praise. Not every reaction became a viral clip. In fact, some of the most important moments never trended at all. A casual mention during an interview. A brief reference in a live stream. A quiet nod to Gento while discussing impressive choreography. No hashtags. No tagging. No promotional intent. And that's exactly why these moments carried weight. These weren't reactions driven by algorithms or visibility. They were organic. Natural. Unplanned. They showed that SB19 had entered a different level of recognition, not just as viral performers, but as artists worthy of professional respect. That kind of acknowledgement doesn't fade when trends do. Why performers saw Gento differently. To the average viewer, Gento might look like just another high-energy dance. But dancers saw something else entirely. They recognized the stamina required to maintain intensity throughout the routine. They noticed the control behind each movement, the balance between sharp power and restraint. They understood how difficult it was to execute such demanding choreography while still making it look effortless. Some celebrities joked about how exhausting it looked. Others attempted the dance themselves and quickly realized how challenging it truly was. Yet no one dismissed it. The struggle didn't turn into mockery. It turned into admiration. Because Gento wasn't built for shortcuts. It required commitment, confidence, discipline. And performers respect nothing more than discipline. From fan recognition to industry respect. Before Gento, conversations about SB19 often stayed within fan spaces. Outside those circles, the group was respected but underestimated, seen as talented, but not necessarily central to global conversations about performance excellence. Gento changed that. Suddenly, celebrities weren't just reacting, they were analyzing. They discussed stage presence, performance quality, global competitiveness. SB19 wasn't being treated as a novelty. They were being evaluated as serious performers. That shift is rare and powerful. Because once peers recognize your skill, your work stops being seen as temporary. It becomes part of a larger conversation about quality and influence. The ripple effect beyond one song. What happened after Gento may be its most lasting legacy. Some celebrities began exploring SB19's earlier performances, recognizing the consistency behind the group's success. Others started paying closer attention to Filipino artists more broadly, realizing that SB19 wasn't an isolated case. Gento didn't just elevate one group. It expanded awareness. It challenged assumptions. It opened doors. It showed the world that Filipino performers belong in conversations about global excellence, not as guests, but as equals. Why respect outlasts virality? Viral numbers spike quickly and disappear just as fast. But respect lasts. When fellow artists react with genuine admiration, it sends a powerful message. It says the success wasn't accidental. It wasn't luck. It was earned through skill, discipline, and presence. And once that recognition exists, an artist's legacy changes. They're no longer just remembered. They're taken seriously. For SB19, Gento was more than a viral dance. It was proof of credibility. A moment that reshaped perception, not just among fans, but among peers. A turning point, not just a trend. So when we talk about Gento, we need to look beyond the choreography clips and trending challenges. Behind the viral moment were quiet reactions, honest surprise, and earned respect from people who understand performance at the highest level. That's what made Gento different. That's what made it a turning point. The shift in conversation. Before Gento, discussions about SB19 largely stayed within fan spaces. Outside those circles, the group was often underestimated, seen as talented, but not necessarily influential on a global scale. Gento changed that narrative. Suddenly, the conversation widened. Celebrities didn't just react, they analyzed. They discussed stage command, performance quality, and international competitiveness. SB19 was no longer treated as a novelty or a viral curiosity. They were taken seriously. That shift, from visibility to credibility, was everything. Because viral moments fade. But professional respect stays. The ripple effect beyond SB19. What followed was just as important. Some celebrities began exploring SB19's older performances, recognizing the consistency and discipline behind the group. Others started paying closer attention to Filipino artists as a whole, realizing that SB19 wasn't an exception but part of a growing movement. Gento didn't just elevate one group. It opened doors. It challenged assumptions. It widened perspectives. It placed P-pop firmly into global conversations about performance excellence. Why these reactions matter more than numbers. Views rise and fall. Trends come and go. But when fellow artists react with genuine admiration, it sends a different message. It says the success wasn't accidental. It wasn't luck. It wasn't a moment borrowed from a trend cycle. It was earned. And once that recognition exists, an artist is no longer just remembered, they're respected. For SB19, the reactions surrounding Gento proved something powerful. They weren't just part of a viral moment. They were shaping a turning point. A moment that became a legacy. So when we talk about Gento, it's important to look beyond the dance challenges and trending clips. Behind the viral explosion were real reactions. Surprise, respect, and recognition from people who understand performance at the highest level. That's what made Gento more than a trend. It made it a turning point. If you noticed a celebrity reaction that many people missed, share it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories exploring SB19 and the moments shaping P-pop's future. If you noticed a celebrity reaction that others overlooked, share it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth stories about SB19 and the moments shaping the future of P-pop.